Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder again with another Reddit story for you. This one is titled, Am I the Astronaut for Not Wanting to Plan a Vacation Without My Kids? My husband and I have a 3-year-old. I have 2 teenagers from a previous marriage, ages 14 and 16. My husband will plan vacations with just me and our 3-year-old and exclude my 2 teens. I asked him to stop making plans that do not include all of us. He says, well, they go to school, which they do, but I noticed he deliberately plans them during school days. I am a stay-at-home mom and work for him in his company where needed. He is the sole provider. He says that since he's paying for the vacation, he sees no problem to get to enjoy time off when he wants to. I told him it was unfair to the other 2. He says if I want to bring them, then I need to ask their father to pay for their portion of the vacation. Am I being sensitive because I am the mom? My 2 teens are hurt by it because they want to go and they feel left out. When we fly, he seats us 3, himself, me, and our 3-year-old in first class and sits my other 2 anywhere he can find a cheap seat. If our daughter was older, say 10, he would still put her in first class, I'm sure. I know it's hard to believe, but I have a good, nice, respectful teens. He just stopped liking them once we had our own. I told him I didn't want to go on vacation without them. I understand a grown-up getaway is nice now and then, but to purposefully exclude them, not nice. And I don't think it's fair to ask their father for money for a vacation we decided to take. Also, he won't help watch the 3-year-old so I can get a part-time job and pay for their portion. So making my own money is hard to do with a little one. Oh, so he wants to fully control you and then exclude your kids. Cool. Yeah, no, he's an asshat. That's all there is to it. We've got some additional comments from OP to go through here. Additional comments from OP. When asked if she voices her disdain for the disparagement and treatment of her kids. Finally made it. My kids know that mom does not stay quiet. Sometimes they wish I wouldn't say anything from fear of making things worse, but I shake from anger, frustration to see someone being unfair to my kids. Life will already be shitty. I don't tolerate it from those who are supposed to love them. Of course, I sit them down and talk to them. It makes me just as sad that he shows them no love. It's heartbreaking. My kids know that mom does not stay quiet. Comment, as a stepkid who ruined the picture-perfect life of a new mom, this hurts. I dealt with similar first-class, second-class hierarchy when they had a new baby and then 2 more. Being told you're not important or being shown, like the plane situation, ruins a kid. Like destroys our heart, soul, self-confidence. The constant wonder of why you're not enough when all you did was exist makes it hard to form a healthy adult mind. Not to bash you, mom. It's perfectly normal and fine to want to continue growing your family, but it's literally all or nothing when it comes to a blended family. He knew you had kids. That's his family now. By doing all of this, he just sucks. As for their father, your finances are between you 2. It's not his responsibility to pay. Just as if they're with him and he planned a trip, you shouldn't have to. I'm sorry this is happening, but you do have 3 kids under one roof with this man. It's not fair to them to be treated this way. Original OP's response, I agree. If I knew then what I know now. But life doesn't work like that. He's 50 and didn't think he could have kids. So when we came into this life, it was like, wow, to have a family. It was great until sister came along. To me, my kids are equal. Can't love one more than the other. I feel anger and betrayed at how he has changed. He will be alone. Trust me. My kids love me. Everyone makes mistakes. Some are just not as easy to get rid of. My kids are happy kids because I do everything to make their life peaceful and happy. If not, they would have already left to their dads. I've always given them that option. We have a strong relationship and they have no hesitation in expressing their feelings with me. They have a strong mom who defends them tooth and nail. I understand the sentiment here, OP. However, I feel like if that were truly the case, your kids never would have sat coach while you were in first class. I know you didn't have a lot of control over that situation, but we've had similar circumstances or similar stories where somebody was seated in coach and the person refused to sit first class and said they would go sit coach or refused to get on the plane. So you still went through with it. That's the shit part here. He didn't force you onto the plane. You still let it happen. So you can say that you're a strong mom who defends them tooth and nail, but you're going to have to fight harder by refusing to go, by refusing to play this game, by refusing to take part in any activity where there is favoritism shown and they are hurt by it. You cannot let those things happen because you're an accomplice to them if they do. You can't let it happen. I understand, like he made this trip, he booked the seats, he did everything, but don't go. Refuse. That's the flag planted. That's the line in the sand that your kids will truly appreciate. Don't let it happen. And right now, your hubby thinks he can force you to do these things because you'll follow along. Stop following along. He won't do it again. You have to create a more firm boundary. The shit part is now you have a kid with this guy. And if he's not respecting your children, you shouldn't be with this guy. You're going to have to deal with him for the rest of his life because now you have a child together. So you're going to have to deal with them at some point, but it's complicated. Blended families are complicated, and they aren't at the same time. It's hard. It's hard to explain, I guess, but you know, two of our kids are with us almost all the time, and when the rest are with us, nobody's better than. There's no hierarchy. Just because two of the kids are with us all the time, it doesn't work like that. They are all our children. We love them all equally. We're all going to do things together, and we'll plan vacations and trips around when everyone's going to be with us. What he is doing and intentionally excluding them and finding bullshit reasons for it is unforgivable. It is a package deal. One of the commenters said that. It's a package deal. It's all or nothing. He chose to be with you. He chose your family. If he's unchoosing them, he is unchoosing you. That's how that works. And maybe you need to explain that to him. If he's choosing to treat them like that, he's choosing to treat you like that. And you won't stand for it. You won't stick around. Have to communicate it. So the question here was, am I the astronaut for not wanting to plan a vacation without my kids? Of course, you're not an astronaut for not wanting to plan a vacation without your kids. You would or will be an astronaut if you actually go through with it, even if you don't want to do it. There's vocally opposing and still doing it, and that's still complicit. Like if you're going to oppose it, you have to fully oppose it 100%. Yeah, which he's controlling everything. And that's the problem here, is that he's controlling everything. But he can't force you onto that airplane. He can't force you into the car to go take the trip. He cannot force you to go do things. He can book the tickets and there can be an empty seat, or he can be the only one on the plane. Know what I mean? Yeah, not a fan. He is a shit human. You don't get to do this. You don't get to treat kids like they're second class because they aren't yours. You chose this family. It's garbage. Now with blended families, like communication, especially I think it's just kids in general, when they become teens, like communication gets tough with teens in general. It's not just because it's going to be like all kids aren't easy to communicate with. The teenage years are tough, but it's tough for all of them. I just can't imagine being like, okay, we're only going to take vacations whenever we have just a couple of the kids and leave these two out. Like that would be a terrible thing to do. It would be terrible. Chrissy Grafton, my teens tell me anything. Yeah, I think it's a less of like them opening up to you and more of everything seeming combative. I'm like, how did you just look at me and tell me to fuck off 3 times? I don't understand. It's amazing. It's a gift. It is a gift. Hey, we hit that lightning goal already. We're going to go ahead and give some thanks for that and then jump to our last story, which has an update. It does. It has an update.